5,965 pounds, the Catalina Legacy 263 rear living with super slide here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is one of those that has like the 2 rocking chairs in the back, surrounded by all kinds of windows, solidly half-ton towable. What this kind of represents is folks who are looking for simple, effective, but not all the way down to a basic level. We still want a little bit of the old razzle-dazzle, you know what I mean? When you first open the door on this one, with the slide closed, at a glance, you see this recliner in your face that you do need to move to close that slide, and you go, well, this is kind of annoying. I don't want to have to climb over a chair every time I get into this thing just to get to the fridge or to pack it up. But the cool thing with this floor plan is that it's fully travel accessible. You just use the other door. Now, if you have long legs like mine, you don't have to do this, but the fact is, regardless of your leg size, if you walk in the bedroom door, not only can you get to all the bedroom, you can get to all the bathroom, but the way that they designed this bathroom, you can sneak around this dinette. You just do a 1 sideways travel trailer 2-step, and bam, we're in the living area. We can get to the kitchen, we can get to the seating, frankly, we can get to basically everything except the television with the slide closed. Now, a lot of times people aren't real jazzed about the fact that you do have to move that one chair. They're not the heaviest chairs in the world. It's not a big, heavy residential recliner or anything like that. But they had to do this to keep the total length of the camper under 30 feet. And that was one of the main target goals of this floor plan. It's very similar in that way to a Rockwood 2604 that we have here at Haylett RV. It gives you that same rear living room, the same big super slide. You have basically the same walk-through bedroom and bathroom. It's fully travel accessible, but you do have to move one chair. Personally, I think that's a small price to pay for a little comfort and peace of mind in towing. So this is most certainly not a new layout in the RV business. Frankly, every travel trailer builder worth their salt builds something very, very similar, if not nearly identical. So why would you choose the Catalina? Why would you visit here at Haylett RV? First of all, I'd like to think you choose Haylett RV because we take the time to answer why, you know, not just what. But what is the why? Well, it begins right up top with the fact that we have a taller interior. Now, more and more RVs have adopted a 6'9" interior height like this Catalina. It was really kind of made super popular by the Jayco J-Flight. When they added that extra interior height, a lot of brands have started to chase that. But the fact is, it also has that shared feature. A taller ceiling, especially in a living room like this, it makes it look and feel larger, and it means taller cabinets in the kitchen, which more storage is always good, and a taller shower, which I appreciate. Now, the little devil's in the detail things. They're not just barrel rocking chairs. These are a nice set of pushback recliners. So if you really do want to slide those things back, they lay almost flat. You can really take a nice little snooze here. Also, check out the recliner side breeze window. It's not just a viewing window, but it is there for airflow, and that's a nice little touch. The extra storage overhead, nice little touch. Over here on the sofa, we've got a cool little, I'm going to call it visiting station. If you've got some friends over, most of the time it's just you, but you can invite some friends and pals or neighbors over. You've got the cool little conversation center right there. It's a nice spot where the two of you can chit-chat without being a mile away, and really hold a nice little conversation. There is storage below that, and you see that the armrest folds down as well. So you've got a cool little spot for a drink. You're not constantly up and down either. A lot of brands have actually phased out extra overhead storage like that. But I've said for a long time, if there's one thing I think Coachmen does better than nearly anybody, it is storage. Now, this floor plan, they purposely built this floor plan to try to hit a weight target. They were going for that 30-foot tip-to-tail mark. And that does mean that they could have stretched it out and they could have given you a little more pantry here and there. But the fact is, to keep this thing at or under 30 feet, I'm pretty impressed with what they have here. You can see how there's doors below the dinette for easy storage there. Another note on that dinette. Of course, it folds down into a sleeper, just like the sofa. But you can see how this table has a sealed edge on it. And that's one of those little details that not every brand is doing. Cherokee's awesome about it. Cherokee's been doing it for a few years, but Coachman's been doing it longer than anybody. At a glance, the entertainment center is great because it's directly facing the recliners where you want to be in the back. But what if you're sitting in the slide-out seating? Well, no worries, because the TV can kick out and swing out onto an angle. So if you're sitting there having a meal, or if you do have those guests over and you're chit-chatting, but you're watching I don't know why, but the name American Gladiators just popped into my head. Does anybody remember that show? That show was awesome. Anyway, the fact is, there's not really a bad seat in this house. We will typically outfit these with the larger 15,000 BTU air conditioner to really maximize that cooling capacity within this camper. And I also like the fact that your command center, your important bells and whistles and buttons and switches, they're up here where the grandkiddos can't get to them. Also up here, shelves. Not every camper has extra shelves in their overhead cabinets. Jayco's very good about it in their J-Flights. Again, I like to point out where some campers are similar, and I like to point out where they're different, so that it can help you kind of cross-compare, you know? We have a lot of different offerings here at Haylett RV, and they're very similar in a lot of ways, but they all have their little unique identifier qualities, kind of like this right here. So, sealed edge counters, I mentioned, are very common nowadays, but extra tile backsplash behind this flush mount stovetop and countertop matching flush mount sink covers to maximize our prep space. That's a neat little find. Not everybody does that. That cool, high-rise, spring-loaded sprayer faucet hardware here in the kitchen, not everybody does that. Easy reach appliance outlets. Place for not just a little office wastebasket, but a legit kitchen wastebasket. Awesome. Plywood drawers down to the floors. Awesome sauce. Everything that really matters here is done very nicely. And the general feeling that I get from a Coachmen Catalina is actually very similar to that of a Coachmen Apex that we carry here at Haylett RV. And the phrase that I use with them all the time that I think really applies to these Catalinas as well is they're simple where they should be, but they're fancy where they could be. And one of those little fancy items, not a major thing, but the refrigerator. It's a 7 cubic foot fridge. It's a little bigger than the industry standard camper fridge. It translates into, it's 17% bigger mathematically, but it's 6 extra hungry man dinners bigger. That's pretty cool, you know, that adds up quickly. But the bathroom here, our walk-through bath, as we saw, allows us for full traveling access. But, you know, we've got this beautiful extra large radius shower here, and the camper being 6'9" tall means that a tall person like me never has to duck in the shower. Having a full-on vanity medicine cabinet as opposed to just a mirror on the wall is nice, but that is absolutely nothing compared to the linen storage that we get above and behind the toilet here. Now, you might notice how there's no, like, cabinet space or doors just above the toilet. That's because this is an access panel to stuff, like a water heater or water pump, as you know, something like that. But back here, that is fantastic. Get your extra toiletries, your extra, you know, towels, all that. All perfect little spot for all that. Sliding privacy door here. Full overhead cabinet, not just an overhead shelf. That's one of the very few differences in other than just equipment between an Catalina Legacy that we're in and an SBX, a little more base level. I love this though. Not only do you have like just one switch for all the lights, but it even activates the lights under that overhead cabinet. So there is one switch for all the bedroom lights, although you can control them independently. The hanging closets are plenty tall, but I like that they still left it open on the side so that if you don't want to feel quite so claustrophobic, like, I'm a snuggler, my wife isn't. I think she enjoys the fact that we have a king bed now so that she can get away from me. Read into that however you need to. But the fact is, some people, they don't like to have a cabinet dead in their face, making them feel like they're sleeping in a coffin. And that's why we carry different brands. They all do little things a little differently that way, don't they? Outside here, we've got that good-looking sort of gunmetal gray kind of package with those just real sharp, striking blue accents going on. Those blue accents will really complement the, what they call Starlight lighting package very nicely also, which is a series of LED accent lights outside under the awning, on the outside speakers, and in the door side wheel well. Kind of cool. Extra thick aluminum nose sweep on this, which is fully painted, so it shouldn't experience any sort of like sun fade issues in the way that an treated fiberglass nose cap theoretically could. Catalinas are going to be outfitted with 20-pound propane tanks. A lot of campers in this class do have 30s. The nice advantage of a 30-pound propane tank is that you can go longer between swaps. But what if it's Sunday and you run out of propane? 20-pound propane tanks are lighter weight, and you can swap them out at any gas station, basically. So you're never going to be without propane on one of these. Power awning, power tongue jack, both make setting and breaking camp simple and easy. A little more peace of mind. This does have an enclosed underbelly, so it does have that extra protection from debris, critters, things like that. We have full-size, like a full-size pass-through here, which is really nice, with large access doors on both sides of the camper. So you never, like, there's not like the main door and then the off door. There are so many trailer brands, especially in a more basic series like this, that will put a tiny little door right there that you basically can't get into. You'd have to be a chimney sweep kid to get in there. But it's the little details that separate brands. Because if you look at the construction of this, it's very similar to quite a few offerings. It's not the construction of a Catalina that really is a standout to me. It's the little execution of simple, effective features like this. Just that extra little mount for the outside shower. It's that kind of stuff that separates brands A, B, C. Now, obviously, there's the visual aesthetics. Do you like the look of one brand more than the other? But it's the little devils in the detail, things like this, like having all of our hookups right next to our sewer station, so it's kind of like an all-in-one convenience center. That stuff matters. Now, we're a little close to the Catalina next to us here, but not too close that we can't see. The fact that these windows are nicely tinted help keep the heat down in the camper. Also helps keep the nosy neighbors out of, your business when you're in the camper. We are backup camera ready. We have those on the shelf at Haylett RV. On tap, can slap them on for you, lickety-split, no sweat. Frankly, guys, those are not a hard install. There's just a little USB plug in there effectively. It's 2 screws. You put the camera on, hook it up, screw it back down. I mean, there's nothing to it. So if you are interested in a backup camera, my recommendation, save the labor time, swap it on yourself, because it ain't hard. The stable step you see on the main entry door back here, that is an optional piece of equipment we have added to this one right there to make coming and going a little bit simpler and easy. Kind of the same reason they have that bigger entry handle on here. We figured, why go half the distance when you could go all the way? So kind of like a Michael Blaine magic trick, you suddenly see a man standing before you. That's Mr. Jody Van Loo. He is one of our parts specialists here at Haylett RV. He also performs surface level inspections on every RV before we accept it here at Haylett RV, so that we make sure we're representing a quality product for our clients. If he sees something he's not sure about, he notes it, we get it taken care of before you folks ever have to deal with it. Maybe that's why we're so highly regarded on things like Facebook and Google in terms of consumer reviews. This guy's making sure we're set off on the right foot. But back to the Catalina. The power awning back here, I like that it starts all the way at the back. I think where you want your patio space is going to be back here. And that awning covering that rear side window, this guy right there. So if you're sitting at the chairs inside on a drizzly day, you can still get some nice airflow coming through. That's a pretty cool thing. We've got the Catalina Starlight package, which is just some goofy name they came up for the fact that they've got all kinds of outside lighting on this. They've got LED lighting below the awning. They have LED lighting in the speakers. And in this campsite wheel well over here, we also have some cool little accent lighting. Kind of reminds me of when I was a kid in high school, which it wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough ago that I'm starting to realize that the years are catching up. The cool kids in high school, they would park by Hot and Now and turn on the neon lights under their cars until the cops scared them off. Every weekend that would happen. Anyway, so all kinds of lighting. We also have easy entry in this thing due to the combination of the larger entry handle here and the optional LCI solid step that Mr. Jody just about tripped on and killed himself. Sorry, bud. Oh, I'm so glad that's on camera. Live from New York. It's Saturday night. But we also have outside TV hookups over here, right next to your neat little LED lit wheel well. Those are nitro-filled tires, by the way. I'll tell you, I don't know that I'm really sold on the whole, ooh, it's nitro-fill thing. I like the theory of it, but when the air that we breathe every day is already like 78% nitrogen, I don't know how much greater of a benefit 100% nitrogen is. I'm sure there's some. I just don't know that it's that big of a deal. What is a big deal, though, is a big front pass-through storage compartment, because I've talked to a lot of people, and I've never had somebody say, boy, I sure wish that camper had less storage. Well, you know, now you don't have that problem. You have a nice wide baggage door on both sides of the camper too, not just the door side here. It's a true full pass-through, not just an underbed compartment, so that you know, all of your totes and everything, you've always got a good spot for all that stuff. I tell you, the more I look at these, the happier I am we picked them up. This is a very, very solid offering, something I think a lot of folks are made very, very happy with. Well within the half-ton towability range, great couples camper, and you know, all the good breeze-through windows, the little sealed counter touches, just a lot of nice, smart touches in here. And I like that it's a little taller and a little lighter inside. So give us a call. We don't do hidden dealer fees. We don't like those. We don't like those any more than you do. But we do everything else. Hitching pieces, parts, trades finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.